What's up, guys? This is Facts on Stuff 3. Yup, I said it. 3. 3. Don't have a cameraman. Doing this all on my own. Still gonna get done. Anyways, what we're doing today is natural occurrences, okay? What are the most well, we're gonna do all of them. All the natural disasters and what they can do. I want to figure out which is the most dangerous. I'm gonna tell you guys all about them. You can figure it out on your own. You can do a little studying on your own, get you to be a little into the knowledge. Alright, so we're gonna start. First, we're gonna start with wildfire. A wildfire is a fire in a combustible vegetation area. So there's many nicknames. Sorry if I'm looking down, I'm reading. I'll be as enthusiastic as I can. We can call this a brush fire, a bush fire, desert fire, forest fire, grass fire, hill fire, vegetable field fire. I guess that's all the names. So if you want to go, I'm gonna make these quick. I don't want to throw millions of facts on each one. I'm gonna just tell you what it is, and what I like to do is tell you how much money it can cost and how many people die from it. And I guess with those two things, also, wildlife, stuff like that, you can figure out, how dangerous it is to us or others. I might throw in a couple facts in all of them. Not gonna talk too much. Get straight to the point. Got you. So it seems we're aware this has been happening for probably around 420 million years, because we found fossil charcoal very soon after terrestrial plants were discovered. Well, from what we discovered at least. Alright, so this is Alright, so we got that plants are flammable, carbon-rich vegetation, dry climates, atmospheric, oxygen is flammable, lightning, volcanic ignition, they can cause wildfires. So wildfires can do damage to humans, property, some plants and animals. Some plants and animals can benefit from it, okay? So not as dangerous as you think. Well, not only if the animals aren't, familiar with this, will it damage them. There's some animals that are familiar with wildfires, and they can get benefits off of things like this. So we got about what is it, around 2,096 deaths a year, around something like that. And these usually cost more than $1 billion. It can cost 550 mil to 2 billion, probably like the average. Okay, next we'll go to heat waves. A heat wave is a period of excessive hot weather. Okay. This can cause power outage, crop failure. Let's see. We got the damages. So the most damage that we've ever had, the most money that it ever cost, was in China. And that costs about $21 billion. And we get about, in total, from 1900 to 2016, we've had roughly over 55,000 deaths. So that's all together, okay? So now we got impact events. This is the cheesy stuff. This is the stuff where you're like, you know what? We could all die, you know? But, so we got some collisions. Impact event is collision between astronomical objects causing measurable effects. Okay? So we get, you know, comets, meteors, asteroids. But, let's say, what can this do? This can change the formation of, well, many scientists have implied that the formation of the Earth and Moon have been changed due to things like this. They also imply that evolution of life was affected by this type of stuff. Yeah, and organisms also implied mass extinction has happened. This type of thing could be the equivalent of several million nukes. So, you know, that's a lot. So we only have about they're not exactly sure how many people die from this, because there are many cases where we don't even know if they have been recorded. But from what I can find is this can also cause thermal radiation and tsunamis. We have over 1,500 documented injuries in the millions. No, sorry, not in the millions, sorry. This can create 7.7 magnitude earthquakes, craters. It can even wipe out a quarter of the population. Let's see. We have only recorded from 645 BC. I think that changed now. That's not BC anymore. That's I forgot what it is. You can correct me. To 1920, we have 300 recovered witnesses. So, all right, on to the next one. This is in no particular order, okay? So, we get cyclones. Cyclone is a large scale of air rotated around the center or low atmosphere. Rotate around the center of low atmospheric pressure. You can also call it a hurricane or typhoon. The only difference between them is where they take place. So they just name it, oh, that's a typhoon because it takes place in a certain area. So let's see, we get about 26. When I'm talking about money, I'm talking about United States dollars. Sorry about people in other countries. But let's say $26 billion annually from these occurrences. About these things can go up to 70 miles per hour. We get about 10,000 deaths a year. So that's a lot in the United States. So now we'll go to whirlpools. Whirlpool is body of water rotating because of opposing currents. So there's not much info on these. You know, I can only imagine why these. I don't think, you know, well, these things they can just happen. There's water flow all over the place. The earth is made mostly of water. So that's a mystery, but what I have is a lot of small crafts, small boats, things of that sort have been sucked down. People have been sucked down. but it's rare for a very large ship, a very large one, to be sucked in. So that's rare, but it does happen. So you can only imagine a lot of people can die from this. I'm not really sure how often it happens. You know, if ships can be destroyed, I'm not really exactly sure how much money that really costs a year. But most whirlpools are small, so it's probably not that much money. Most of them are small. Anyways, let's go to volcanoes. Volcanoes are rupture and crust in the crust of planetary in the planet. Okay. So this allows lava flow, gases, and volcanic ash to spread. So from about 1900 to 2016, worldwide, we have about 80,000 deaths in total. So these can cause earthquakes, floods, mudslides, rock falls, a Pokemon move, lava travel that harms food. So the largest volcano has done $700 million of damage. 700 million. Moving on. What I thought was pretty cool that I didn't really think about that much was famine. We get famine. Famine is the scarcity of food. And every second someone dies from hunger. So what? One of the most dangerous, right? Okay, so we get about 36 million people. I think it's about last year that had died. And about 1 out of 6 people actually don't eat healthy enough. Don't have a healthy meal. And this is something that can be solved. I mean, I'm not saying it can, but if it would be solved, if everybody decided they wanted it to be solved, it could be solved. That's all I gotta say. I'm not saying that will ever happen, but if that was, all wealthy people would have to pitch in, everybody. And it would cost about $30 billion a year from everyone in the world in US dollars. So let's see. Alright, so okay, we're done with this. So now we'll go to limnic eruptions, okay? Limnic eruption is also called something, it's called a lake overturn. This is when dissolved CO2 erupts from deep lake waters, forming gas clouds. It can suffocate wildlife, livestock, and people. So, plants die. Everybody dies from this. There's only actually been two recorded in recent history. We have the most famous, the most dangerous, killed around 3,500 livestock, and all the trees surrounding the lake were flattened from this. Only 37 people had died. Could be dangerous, but not common. And yeah, not common. So now we have geometric storms. So this is a temporary disturbance of Earth's magnetosphere. So this can be caused by solar wind shock. So this can be something like a solar flare. This would be solar flare can be considered one of these. Solar flares, we're protected from them. So these are also coronal holes, solar coronal mass injections. We are protected from this. It's dangerous to us, but the Earth protects us from something like this. And anything else, it can cause damage to power grids. No casualties in humans. The solar coronal. Solar coronal can cause damage to power grids. Okay, next. Floods. We got floods, an overflow of water in an area not normally covered by water. So the most money that was ever dealt by a flood was $14.3 billion. In total, out of all floods, from 1900 to 2016, something over 6 million people died. So worldwide. Earthquake is the shaking of Earth's surface. Sudden energy coming from the lithosphere. Some can be felt, some cannot. Some can destroy a whole city. From 1900 to 2016, in total, 1,300,000 deaths. Let's say this can cost up to $2 billion, an earthquake. Now let's go to my favorite, tsunamis. It's my favorite, but it's the one I'm scared of the most. I've had nightmares where there was a tsunami and it's as tall as the tallest buildings. Anyways, waves connected by water displacement. So we have about 174,296 people that are dead from this worldwide, and 108,222 people that are missing worldwide. Missing. That's insane. Think about it. Something happening and people are just nowhere to be found. That's insane. And these can cost about $14 billion damage. So let's look at Avalanche. Let's see. Destroy buildings. Destroy power supplies. Can create blockages. Let's see. About, let's see, how many people can die each year. About 150 people worldwide. So not that bad. I guess there's not too many avalanches. Now this is a crazy one, alright? This one I couldn't really get all the facts, everything. It would just take way too long. When I tell you what it is, you'll know exactly why. This is sickness, okay? Sickness affects us a lot. And let's say in the US, 150 billion to 250 billion dollars annually we lose because of this. and about $3 million a year we costs of no yeah costs money no of deaths, sorry, because of due to sicknesses that we can prevent using vaccine. So that's crazy. And the top sicknesses is stroke. 5.8 million people die in the U.S. Yearly. Lower respiratory infection, about 3 mil. I don't know how to say it correctly. Sorry, didn't look it up. Forgot. Ischemic heart disease, something like that. About 9.4 million people dying. So now we're done with sickness. Hold on. Make sure I don't have anything else. But yeah, you know, sickness, hard to cover. Hey, you can always look it up. Curious about certain sickness, go ahead. Tornadoes, rotating air that has contact with the surface and cumulonimbus cloud, or the base of a cumulus cloud. So from 1875 to present, there's around 100 million people dead. 2015, we lost about $10 billion in the U.S. because of one. 2.8 billion dollars cost one town. So then we have drought. Okay, so we got drought now. Drought is a long period of low rainfall or shortage of water. So we get about, okay, so from 1900 to 2016, and worldwide we have 12 million deaths. The California drought cost $2.7 billion, 21,000 jobs. And worldwide, 1900 to 2016, we have 70 billion deaths. So, I'm sorry, $7 billion. Sorry about that. Anyways, now we have the famous gamma ray bursts. We all know the Hulk. Got that gamma up in him. Alright, so gamma ray burst is an energy explosion. It is the brightest electromagnetic event that could ever happen. It can last from 10 milliseconds to several hours. And it is the most powerful explosion in the universe. Are you happy that I told you about the most powerful explosion in the universe? You're welcome. Anyways, now we have I thought was pretty cool. You know what? Let's make that one last, all right? I know I said no particular order, but I want to make that one last. All right. So we got blizzard. Blizzard is severe snowstorm with high winds and low visibility. So, sorry guys, only got US. 400 people die a year, US. Plants, trees die. The EPA said that it can damage an entire forest. It can cause carbon to release in the air while the decay of these trees are happening, and that can kill wildlife, people, plants. Straight up. That's how it goes. The most costly blizzard cost about $1 billion. So yeah. Now It's the last one. We are talking about swarms. Oh, yep, swarms. Let's get a little closer to talk about the swarms. Swarms. So we have many different creatures that can swarm. Bees, locusts, wildebeests, something called a starling, sardines, krill, ants. Humans can swarm too. So we have what? Bees. People die, what, 50 to 60 people a year in the U.S. People die from bees. Bees. So, locusts potentially are not harmful. Well, as from creature to creature, it won't really bite you. Can't really do much harm to you, other than it can eat all of your food. Like your best friend sleeping over your house. It can take all your crops out. It will damage people's lives. It can starve you to death. Okay? We have wildebeests that also swarm. I think I said that. Just want to make sure. Wildebeests. They're like horned type creatures. Look like an ox. Something like that. Ants. We get ants. Let's see, about ants. People have died from ants, and not only because they were allergic to their venom. That's serious. Really? A little dude can kill somebody even when they're not allergic to them? Pretty sick, right? Let's see. These creatures can also eat livestock. Ants eat livestock. And fun little interesting fact, they use each other to make bridges to cross water, so that's pretty cool. Stampedes. Let's say humans can swarm too. 2,000 people died in 2015 because of a stampede. So that's all, folks. That's all for the natural disasters. We covered everything. So I hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys like the Facts on Stuff 3. I will be looking around, try to give you something else that I don't see people doing. I don't want to just copy some video some dude put up. You know, the earth spins this many times a year. Oh yeah, guys, hey, you know, the earth spins this many times. You already know that, alright? So we'll see about a Facts on Stuff 4. Hope you guys like the video. What do you think is the most dangerous? Don't be cheap and say, okay, I can't believe I forgot what it was called. I got you right now, guys. Don't be cheap and say, oh my goodness, okay, hold on, let me find it. The gamma ray burst is the most dangerous. Be a little creative, you know. Maybe you know what? I'll put the names in the description down below. And you know, you can choose which one you think is the most dangerous before I tell you all the facts and everything. Alright? See you guys.